Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing well there. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great, and appreciate you stopping by as Monday, Miami Heat Media Day. Training camp gets going this week. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost there, Heat Nation. We have almost made it. It has been a long. This not felt like the longest off season of all time to anybody else? I don't know what it's been. I don't know if it's just because certainly like the summer of Dame not happening. It felt like the summer was alive. Like, hey, something was gonna happen every single day. The Heat, they did make a move this year with the Norman Powell stuff, so like that certainly was a jolt. Eurobasket was fun. We had summer league, which wasn't as good as past summer leagues, but was still a good summer league. Some things happened. We had Spo calling somebody out for the first time in a while, calling out Khalil Ware. And interesting to see how Khalil responded to that. And we had a huge injury piece of news with Tyler Hero. We thought the only story was going to be his extension, and instead it was the fact that he is going to be at least out for the first 14, 15, 16 games of the season. Maybe it turns out to be more. I did see some of the photos that he's been posting. He's been posting a lot more on social media lately now that the news is out that he had surgery. And, I will say there's a couple workout photos. Tyler Hero does look like he's beefed up. I don't know if he's only been able to concentrate on curls for a little bit, but he certainly looked. I know I'm going to get the Leroy thing here, but I swear to God, he looks swole as hell from the offseason photos. He's turning 25, 26 this year, so that'll be an interesting thing for sure. But like, look, there's been a lot of stuff that has happened this offseason for the Miami Heat as far as like moves and the draft. Obviously, of them getting Kasparas Giacochonis was exciting. Kasparas having such a scrutinized summer was interesting. But we're finally here. Like, we're finally here at training camp, and it does feel like when we get into camp, there's not a lot of drama as far as like what'll be surrounding the team. Like, they got to figure out how to withstand the storm of Tyler Hero being out and who's going to step up in that regard. The only real piece of news of drama is what is going to happen with the Terry Rozier situation, but I don't foresee that being a toxic situation. Like, it was reported this week by Anthony Chang that he's expected to be there, and I don't know why he wouldn't be. Like, they've already been past the awkward stage of the Terry Rozier stuff. I mean, other than if Terry's going to address this tomorrow, like, I don't even know how many people are going to want to talk to Terry Rozier tomorrow. That feels kind of like a first day of camp thing that some guys will get him just to kind of feel how he's at. If I had to guess, maybe he will. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the request list looks like for Terry Rozier on media day, but I feel like that's more like a second day of camp thing. And I think there was actually something that the Heat are doing, even media availability with camps a little bit different this year. I don't know. I'm going to be working during shows, so it's wasn't really a concern of mine because I'm going to be live in the studio. But we'll keep up everything. If they were going to be here longer, but they're not. They're going to be here for like 3 days, and then they're heading to Puerto Rico. So I'm sure I'll catch a preseason practice along the way, and be boots on the ground for that. But it is, if it's not on a weekend, it's tough for your boy because typically we're on the air from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., but we will keep the coverage of it. Now, I do expect us to have a fun lineup at Miami Heat Media Day. So if you guys want to be in on that live, tune in to Tobin and Leroy, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and we'll start the parade of guests as they roll on through. Busy day for me tomorrow, as I got that and I got the Dolphins pregame, and then we got Monday Night Football, which is gonna be a day tomorrow, dude. It's gonna be a day, but we're looking forward to it. The big news of the day were two really, really detailed pieces done that I read by Ira Winderman from the Sun Sentinel and Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, and both of these guys, did a really bang up job of reporting on a very tough situation, and that was in regards to the health of Miami Heat general manager Andy Elisburg. And we all love Andy. Andy, a Miami Heat original, the Lord of the salary cap, has been dealing with some really, really scary stuff this off season, and apparently is on the mend, which is great news. But he had several infections that affected him, and apparently was affecting him, according to Ira's story, was really getting to him sometime late towards the season when the Miami Heat were making like a final playoff push, that he was really tired, and that the fatigue was affecting him, but he kind of napped through it and think that he was okay. And that's always a very scary thing, man, when you don't feel normal and you don't quite feel yourself and you think that you're going to be fine and you don't know that something like really wrong is going on. It's trying, and you just don't know, like, hey, what are the things, what are the signs that are there. But yeah, apparently this was going on in like early April, and he had even said that, man, if he didn't get this looked at when he did, he could have been something that spread, could have been a lot worse. But he had infections in his foot, and then according to Anthony's piece, had an infection in his back and his knee, throughout his body, and it was like messing with his livers, messing with his kidneys. That his like kidneys were at a dialysis level. So really, really scary stuff. And I think the only win that we got of this was we all saw during draft night, which he did make it to the arena. He had been working mostly from the hospital and been doing his rehab. Was during draft night, we could kind of see, hey, Andy looks like he's in a wheelchair. That looks like that didn't look like a normal chair that he was in. And the Heat had made accommodations for him to get to the arena, to be there that night, for his traditional, like, calling it into the commissioner and all that. He did and was involved with the Norman Powell deal. Like, he missed, I guess, a physical therapy session to do that because, well, he's a gangster and is like, yeah, I'm going to be still doing my job as this has happened and running the organization. So this dude is like, Andy Elisburg is like such a Heat lifer through and through, like a Heat OG, a Heat original, predates Pat Riley. And like, and you're just reading this, just, man, I cannot believe like the things that he's going through, but is also like he just misses the job so much. Like, it brings him so much joy. There was a lot of that of, in both pieces, just about like, how much that stuff is his identity and brings him a lot of joy. The he, according to the Miami Herald, is still in a wheelchair, has physical therapies 4 to 6 days a week. His goal is to be able to walk again one day, and that he is going to go to games at home, but he is not going to go on road trips. And that was another thing. Like, he apparently like missed a game. He was so sick, and like he's like, I don't miss games. It was like, I don't miss games. So it's just it's a wild thing, man. Man, the Heat had themselves a year last year. Like, this is small potatoes in comparison to basketball, because you're glad that this guy's life is going to be okay. But you just think about like all of the stuff the Heat dealt with that was off the court, in addition to the struggles that were there on the court. Really did just seem like the year from hell in a lot of ways. And so, man, you just wish Andy the best on this. The guy is just so well respected around the league, just an absolute OG when it comes to the salary cap and knowing the rules and all of the things that go into that. And so, yeah, you just like seeing that, and you probably, people were, I remember people tweeting about this the night of the draft when this was going on, and there was some stuff, but like, you don't know, like, I mean, at least I didn't know. I mean, some people may have known, but like the details on it were really, really scary, man. Like, really, really scary stuff with Andy. And you just hope that you just hope that he's able to make a full recovery, have some sense of normalcy with the basketball season being back, even though it's not going to be his typical normal because he won't be there every night, every game. But just wishing him all the best, and going into a year where we're going to be talking about things like training camp jobs and status in the East and all that type of stuff. For a guy who's done a lot of great with the organization, he also said like he wasn't able to make it to Mickey Harrison's, Hall of Fame ceremony, which crushed him, obviously. Um, it makes sense, now why he wasn't in like any photos and things like that. But, obviously you got to get your health in line, man. When you get struck with those types of things, those just absolute gut punches in life of you're just rolling along normalcy, and then just boom, you get just thrown this obstacle in your way, whether it be you or your close loved ones. It's crazy, but it does realign where your priorities are in life and what you got to do, and reassess some certain things. So yeah, you just hope Andy has himself a strong mend to get to where he wants to get to, and that all this hell stuff can get behind him. Because sometimes this thing hits, and then it's another thing, and then it's another thing. So you're hopeful that this thing is clear and in the right way, and that we're wishing him all the best, because the Heat, he's such a big hand in a lot of the success that they have had, and just seems like an A+ dude. So really, really hoping that this recovery goes well for him, and that he gets through this okay. But that was certainly some scary stuff to read today. Very, very um, tumultuous summer for him. So you're hoping that it all bounces back in a big, big way for Andy Elisburg.